Good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I am Salil. I am part of a business head with HT Media Group. Which they acquired last year. As Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. Today we are looking at textile, and it's favorite to me. I think we are globally known for having the best textile manufacturing plants in India, right from growing cotton to actually spinning, creating clothes and apparels, like financially. But export orientation has been a lot of there. I was going through some data as well, and I was very pleased to see that there was a time when we were like treated the world textile hub as such. Then that time came up that we went down, but last 4 or 5 years we have started picking up a lot of improvements in the textile. So all kudos to you guys for being with us and doing that. But then last 2.5 years, the pandemic has actually given us something different aspect. I talked to manufacturers today. They realized that their investment into a technology versus their investment into manufacturing was having an imbalance. Due to which we had shut down of the manufacturing plants because of the pandemic, the labor went across to their hometowns. Supply chain was disrupted from raw material to inventories to be exhausted. And those are the big challenges. How we become more resilient? We say China plus one. Right? So we have China, then we maybe have in India as well. But whenever we are having a discussion around manufacturing for India being plus one, we always fail. We want to be the manufacturing hub of the globe. We want to do better, but we always fail somewhere, right? And I think today's discussion is also around that. From you people, new age companies like your and the traditional companies who are there with us today, there are mixed views which we see. We see the intersection of textile manufacturing and technology may be lagging somewhere. What are the issues there? Second part of the discussion is about how to create the sort of transformational agenda and resetting the playbook. I think that's where first discussion should come out. While India is coming out resilient from a macroeconomic factors perspective today.
Thank you everyone for being here, and I really look forward to having a very engaging conversation today. Like Salil mentioned, there are multiple, we can leverage this conversation, and the takeaways that are going to come out from this conversation, we plan to take this really seriously in terms of actions that we incorporate as an industry, and taking this to the right forums amongst the policymakers and make this voice heard. And that's the objective, and I really look forward to it.
Supply chain disruption has created a big opportunity for India, right? Now, this opportunity has been encashed by us or not is the big question. What do you feel? Have we really leveraged this opportunity? Have we not leveraged this opportunity? What are the issues you're facing around it? Individual organization, as an industry, as a spokesperson of the industry, feel free to start that.
The supply chain is definitely the basis for any growth. And I am sorry to say we have failed to realize that in India. Even today, we are not very serious about building a robust supply chain. During this year, 21-22, when people called 20 people and nobody offered anything at any price, then the realization came that do we have somebody whom we can really depend on 100%? We have orders in hand, we have production in hand, but we do not have the supply. We have got inquiries from foreign brands who want to start production units in India. And compared to that, the Indian awareness is much less.
Got it.
So if you want to really scale up, be China plus one today, we need to be alert and aware to this fact.
Very nice point. When people are setting up the manufacturing plant, but the awareness is not there.
We need to have a mindset of growth, and that price mindset is not going to help us scale up a lot. So that I think is the change that's required.
Investment in technology, in digitization is very, very important, and currently people are probably investing a little bit more on machines but less on digitization. You do digitization to monitor the issues and then you can solve those issues. So that is missing in India. We are still, I would say, in India very, very basic in terms of digitization in complete supply chain. And another point I want to make is that there has to be a link between, all the different verticals.
The whole supply chain is got disrupted. Now, some people have their intentional disruption by raising the prices. Some is the global impact of the, let's say, for example, cotton prices going up. Some is generally supply is not available. Right? We see 5 pillars across change which has to happen. How are we resetting the playbook for that?
From a perspective of what customers are feeling, customers are kind of also seeing that a lot of people are embracing the new changes and all, and customers are also moving as quick as, maybe quicker than us.
Customer has absolutely moved faster than us, right? I mean, everybody, including personally us ourselves, we have moved, our kids have moved on. And the way they see the world, the way we used to see the world is completely different. It is not going to go back, right? But then have we changed so fast?
Transformation happens with a change agent. In this case, it was a platform.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you really see the supply chain changes there,
Yes.
it's phenomenal. In the last few years, you can see every single pin code in this country is reachable. It's only technology. We need to do the same transformation in the supply side of
Exactly.
textile and the fashion value chain. The trust in the supply chain is through relationship, codified trust.
From a platform perspective, with that consumer side, the story is different, but the supply side, the story is very different. These people are from a supply ecosystem, let's say. How Zetwerk looks at it, right? How can we build the transparency, visibility, and tracking mechanism?
Silos of exposures being taken by people with incredible trust, and there are silos where there is absolute breakage, right? And yeah, that's the highway we are trying to create.
From a manufacturing perspective, what do you think where your capacity
The
is?
textile industry is individual diamonds. When we make a necklace, the value would increase multifold.
So we share
But
the
capacity, we share the capacity.
India in global textile trade was number 2. Now we have slipped down to 4 or 5. The problem in India is twofold. One, as you said, the entire value chain is fragmented.
Yes.
And everybody works in silos. The growth of any industry in India for textile would be would be a garment.
True.
If we export garment, that is the highest value addition we can do in India. We need 2 things for India to be really competitive in the world textile trade. We are very good at spinning, but we lack weaving and processing.
Absolutely true.
Unless we do this, and I'll be very honest with you, I expressed this concern somewhere in the month of September to Honorable Minister of Textiles, Mr. Piyush Goyal, and he immediately took action. And we are drafting some policy at the Government of India level where they are saying that to bring in weaving technology to India, there is no need to reinvent the wheel in India. Let us bring up some FDIs and do it faster. Unless we have weaving in India, the whole textile trade will not grow. Today, textile industry is really finding it difficult to source the talent, to have a talent at all levels. The entire value chain has to be one. Thinking garment as a engine.
How we can use the transformational digital technologies to drive those integration across the board.
No, I think there are lot of reasons why we should be optimistic about. There are a lot of fantastic examples within the industry of people successfully transforming supply chains. The problem is it's happening in silos. It's happening a lot of supply chains, I call it inward looking rather than outward or forward looking, because of which the proliferation is still limited.
Sure.
The biggest example that I could quote over the last 4-5 years that has happened is Shein, right? So the way they leverage technology from the front end of the supply chain in terms of spotting trends, they invest. I read somewhere they spend a lot of money on Google Trends, right? On so spotting forward-looking trends in the market to again going back to creating that neural network or nervous system of sending signals to the back end of the supply chain in terms of inventory levels that needs to be there to sustain the demand that they are citing for the next few quarters.
So that's a fantastic example.
If Zetwerk has to consolidate and integrate, let's be plain and simple, straight question, right?
Yeah.
How would you go about it?
That's an endeavor. It's
Where we start? What are the major
yeah.
steps? Yeah.
So what we are trying to do at this point in time is to create at least that highway with limited capacities from forward to back end.
Two things are changing for us, right? One, we are talking about supply chain integrating, highly fragmented environment, only 4% is organized. All these data points are pointing towards something which says that, it's difficult to do it, but we still want to do it. On the other hand, our importers are asking a difficult question. Are you sustainable or not? Are you socially, doing it or not? Give me a visibility of your entire supply chain, which type of button you're using on the shirt also, you tell me that as well, okay? So just sustainability in textile is a business now. It's no more a social responsibility. It's no more a CSR which we are talking about, correct? On the other hand, customers, your customers, the final consumers of the, let's say, Apple, they're saying, I need more innovation. What are you bringing this new old style of, suits to me? So the suits which used to get old style in 6 months to 12 months is now getting old style in a season, right? So you need to change your modular manufacturing, your way of thinking will change, your capacity will change. You're not equipped with that as well. So these two vectors, sustainability where traceability and visibility is required by the importers, largely that's where you earn a lot of money. At the same time, they are asking you people to be very agile. They're asking you people to be very, very agile, nimble, in fact, right? So I'll come to you, but I know you're shaking head and you want to add a lot of things on this one. So I'll start with you, Ganesh.
Yeah, I think I have a different take on sustainability
Please.
and the fashion supply chain.
Yeah.
So what's happening right now is everybody wants to digitize. Digitalize. It's predominant right now.
Yeah, digital is the most abused word in the world, right?
Which means it's locally digitize everything. Okay. Make 2D to 3D, right?
Yeah.
And automate what I'm currently doing.
Yeah.
If you just take a 40,000 feet view of the fashion supply chain, if you just see not just India, I think all of them will agree right now, 1 out of 2 products made in fashion does not sell well. There is a metric called full price sell-through.
Yes.
That full price sell-through for decades is around 50%. Individually optimizing is not going to solve this problem. We need a demand-driven fashion value chain rather than what we think will sell well, which is a supply-driven value chain.
Working capital is a major issue today.
Yeah.
So, in this scenario, Zetwerk is a platform which has given a lot of leverage to many of the garment manufacturers, fabric supplier as well as garment supplier, where they are financing, and many of us, companies like us, are preferring to go through Zetwerk, where we get the payment either through CD or within a specific time, whatever they commit.
Yeah.
So we need in India more and more platforms like Zetwerk, so that the at least Indian textile industry, which work mostly on the credit terms.
I get assurance from Zetwerk on a platform perspective. How do you do that? Because you will face the same challenge, what they are facing it, right?
Absolutely.
So how are you creating that value which is sitting there?
No, there are like Ganesh was rightly talking about credit, right? For us, how of course there is, and it's not very specific to textile and apparel, right? It is specific. It is common across
Manufacturing, yeah.
B2B manufacturing supply chain. Let's take automotive sector as an example, right? Where there are clear tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 systems that very, very synchronously run, right? Inventories get exchanged, current assets get exchanged very, very, very synchronously. So what we find, of course, we are a diversified platform. We do industrials, and of course, we are into the textile space as well. What we see here in specific is, working capital can be there, credit cycles can be there. But the problem that exists in the market today is discipline and predictability, right? So, so when there is discipline and when there is predictability, none of the stakeholders in the supply chain need to solve for working capital. There are enough trade finance institutions, supply chain finance institutions. The banks will start coming to us. Why are banks not picking up supply chain finance? Because they see an inherent risk. And what is the risk they see? Discipline and predictability. Right? When there is when there is such boring predictability in money flow in the supply
You
chain.
coined a word today, boring predictability.
Yeah, boring level of predictability in money flow in the supply chain.
Yeah.
It is not everybody can take 60 days. The duration of credit is not a problem. Whether it's 60 days, then what happens is when at such levels of predictability, then costs will come down, risks will come down, and the supply chain is going to operate in a very, very synchronous manner.
Got it.
The problem that we see today, of course, yeah, it is a problem. It's not, of course, I'm inheriting somebody else's problem.
Yes.
But what we are able to see is for a small MSME, they do not have a credit underwriting function, right? They are not able to see a balance sheet of the company, whether inventory is exploding, debtor days are exploding. We are able to see through that and take scientifically appropriate risks and be that voice for the stakeholders at the back end of the supply chain and strengthen this supply chain. That's the role that we are really playing.
Well, excellent. What should happen is the question.
I think there is a huge opportunity, and especially in India, organized retail is growing so rapidly. And there is so much and more that will happen and can happen for manufacturing in India. That there is never going to be a point where people are going to not have enough orders, because we are growing. As a country, we are growing. We just started consumerism in the country. We need those spaces to be created by the government, which are compliant and which allow sustainability in a sustainable manner.
It's high time that as an industry we should do forward or backward integration of the complete supply chain industry. In India has a very strong IT industry. We should use
Not leveraging it.
We are not leveraging it.
Government policy has to be not exactly as per China, but very close to the Chinese policy, how the governments are supporting the textile industry in China. Transparency among all the stakeholders should be very, very clear.
The industry needs to scale up. Indian textile industry needs to be branded. Industry must adopt market-oriented ecosystem. Everything has to be done with ESG.
Can we consider each one of us as a software company doing textile business, software company doing garment business, software company doing brand business? Right consumer, right product, right design, right fabric, everything, right? So I think how can we bring precision fashion, precision textile, using information and data together and bring intelligence in answering two questions: what products we all need to make for the consumers, how much do we
One
make,
side.
when and where we distribute. Three questions is all of us are working on. If we can actually do that, I think we'll create. And the last one, this is my wish, that India hasn't made a $1 billion brand yet. I'm saying brand, not retail. Now, we are the superpower of technology, and we have in-house manufacturing, which our developed countries don't have. If we have all the ecosystem, and we are powering the world of technology today, I think if we all come together, tech-powered fashion, and I think we have a future where multi-billion-dollar brands.
First ask from the policymakers would be more growth capital for sure.
Yes.
Very, very warmly welcome the PLI's revolution that's happening as we see. But as we announce more and more PLIs, let's blend in the sustainability consigns. What I mean by that is, when we are going to set up these capacities, let us also mandate certain ESG parameters to get the companies eligible for PLIs, right? So, second big ask is, of course, we talk about the RAP and the SEDEX and a lot of these certifications, but I dream of a world where there is a continuum of certifications that exists, right? So imagine a world where there is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Everybody wants to climb a ladder. Nobody wants to jump, right? So definitely, can we create a continuum of sustainability certification which enable everybody report that they have moved from one level to the other
The
level?
needle has to move somewhere positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the third big ask is definitely the inspiration that I take from a country like Bangladesh is the level of advocacy and unification of industry is outstanding.
Thank you very much for the time, gentlemen. It's an honor. Please.
Just to take away,
Please.
95% of public company in the world have based their reports on ESG and CSR.
Yes.
We have to realize if you have to grow up, we have to base our
Yes.
growth on those bases. the business schools, most of them are focusing on circularity, responsibility, responsible fashion, sustainability.
Yep.
That is the flavor of the future.
Absolutely.
We have to again base our growth on that. So we can say sustainable value chain analysis,
Yes.
if done, that can be a change. And digitalization. These two, I think, is my takeaway. That will give the three PPPs a different name:
Yes.
priority, premium, and then ultimately profits.
Yes. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But it's always an honor to have you.